So this is completely off the cuff, but I'm thinking about the idea of the evolutionary arms race in video content. Because in the old days, before there was any political content on YouTube, people got a lot of political news through TV. And TV is most of the time kind of a joke. There's quick sound bites, like 5-second sound bites, and completely fake artificial conversations with no genuineness, and there's clips of people screaming over each other and completely contrived situations where situations that are just unbelievably contrived, such that if a YouTuber tried to pull them off, they would be considered amateurish. Like when you get filmed, like let's say there's a debate in a TV film studio, right? A lot of times they don't even have the people debating each other sitting face to face, or even being able to see each other on the screen, like you have with Skype or Zoom. Instead, you just have the camera set up, two separate rooms. One person talks into the camera, the other person talks into the camera. They can hear each other, but they don't see each other, and they just try to get out their rehearsed talking points, and they have 10 minutes to do it. You know the type of shows I'm talking about. So that doesn't suffice for a lot of people. And so in the early days, you can imagine the 2 minute bedroom, just recording your thoughts. Like, let's say you make a 2 minute bedroom video, and you say, "Hello, my name's Susie. I'm in my pajamas. This is what I think. Here's my opinion. Here's my opinion. All right, thank you. Please like, comment, and subscribe." Just stating your opinion calmly like that, or just kind of stating it in a way that seems genuine and not artificial, is like relatable to a lot of people, right? So that's like stage one. And the next stage is, let's say you make a 10-minute video debunking the bathroom video. It's easy to laugh at that stupid person and think, ha ha ha, you know, they're such an idiot. So I'm going to make my 10-minute video explaining why they're an idiot. And at the time, that was actually quite innovative. Like at the time, the concept of a 10-minute long YouTube video, just going through all of the arguments, what seems like meticulously, and explaining what your position is, why you think your opponent is wrong. It can leave the impression like, oh, you really got your point across, right? Especially if you're good at monologuing, you're a good presenter, you're good at speaking like emphatically. But then you have like 45-minute long response videos that take down the debates in the 10-minute long video and debunk them point by point and go through all the points. And you can do that because your own video is 45 minutes long. So a portion of that time is to show the original clips, and a portion of that time is to respond, and it's good for watch time. And this is the point when YouTube really started to optimize watch time. And so you had these really long videos, like 45 minutes, and you could get away with that. And people were entertained. People could, speed it up a little bit. People would be entertained to watch a 45-minute video, like debunking someone, if it was presented entertainingly enough. But then, what we're seeing now is an even escalation of that. It's been said, why do so many memes come out of 4chan? Well, so many memes come out of 4chan because it's like a harsh evolutionary environment. If you can survive as a meme on 4chan, you can survive as a meme many other places. So it's also kind of maybe more creative by nature. So there's the novelness to it, and the kind of the type of person it attracts is kind of rule breaking. So it is to be expected that like a lot of innovation is to emerge out of that, right? Now, very short and very long videos are extremists, and so that's an example of that. So there was such a thing as the Vine migration. There were a lot of people on Vine. They, made comedy skits, but then Vine went bust, and they moved over to YouTube. Now, I think we're starting to see, we're not starting, we have seen a similar thing on Twitch. Twitch is like the opposite of Vine. Vine is as short as like humanly possible videos, or it was. Twitch is as long as conceivably possible as a person can realistically make by themselves videos. A person can Twitch stream for like 8 hours, right? So that's kind of another extremis. So that's like, these are extreme evolutionary environments. And so to come from one platform to another, migrating like that is like migrating continents. So it's like you're an invasive species. So when we see like Twitch streamers um, who are capable of recording for like 10 hours a day, right? I would not be able to do that. Like this video is already like 6 minutes long, and I'm getting tired just talking. Like talking for this long is tiring to me, right? However, it's also the case that when you make like response videos, like political content, where the objective is just the frame control and optics and like shouting over your enemies and being like presentation and getting more points out faster and uh, in greater quantity than your opponents can, such that you stay on top of their narrative and you're reacting to them and they don't have enough time to react to you. So as soon as you say something, like the other side is quick to debunk it, right? In order to do that, it's all about content. It's all about generating as much as possible, as many points as possible, as many arguments as possible. Just getting content out there, because like the more content you can get out there, the more you can devote content to debunking the other person, right? Like let's say you release a 30-minute video and the other person releases an hour and a half long video debunking it. Debunking, I mean, you know what I mean by that. Well, how are you supposed to respond to that? Because to respond to that, you might need to make like an even longer video. So it's like an arms race. To respond to an hour and a half long video, you might want to make a 3 hour long video. I mean, eventually it just gets to the point where whoever can release the most content can seem like they're on top of it because they're like proactive. They have an answer to all of the objections of their opponent. And I have to emphasize, like, this isn't really about like whoever has the best arguments win, because there's no way. Like, in order for that to be true, it would need to be the case that people are in a forum where it's understood that they are capable of changing their mind upon hearing an argument that they did not anticipate and then reflecting on it and then changing their mind. But people don't actually work like that. Like in a debate context, it's actually very, very hard. People never change their minds. So it's not about like eventually the best side winning out. You assume that happens. Like a marketplace of ideas doesn't work because it optimizes for the most fit ideas, the best ideas at propagating themselves, not the ideas that are actually most correct. Because most correct assumes that people are rational, people aren't rational, people are the carriers of ideas, etc. So what's the point of this? Well, Twitch streamers, right? They're the ones who are on top of the game right now because they're used to producing like loads and loads and loads and loads of content. So they're able to make those big response videos. And let's say like you have an opponent, the opponent can't put out content as fast as you. They want to take breaks, they have other responsibilities. In the meanwhile, you're just chugging away. So it seems like you are really on top of it. I don't know if I'm making any sense. It's just the ability to say things in a way that makes it seem like you're unchallenged. Because if you say something, it seems like you're unchallenged until you get some sort of big response, right? Because if you're charismatic enough, you get enough followers, it looks like, oh, there's a lot of people who agree with you, but if people can't put in the work in to generate a response, it looks like there's no opposition. You look at my channel and you can say, let's be honest, It has like almost zero subscribers. And then you look at channels who gained recognition in kind of a similar way that I did, and you can think, okay, what is the difference between these two channels? Between the guys, I'm not going to name any names, who have like 10,000 subscribers or so, which is itself not much, but at least they have some attention. Well, there are really two possibilities. The first is down to how good the content is, which can itself be down to two possibilities, which is the technical aspects. I don't have good audio. And second, the content itself, which comes down to like largely ideas and public speaking. I think my ideas are pretty good. Public speaking, I don't know. Um, but then the second component is how often you upload and how much content you make. And I've heard a lot of people talk about this idea that creating content doesn't actually take up that much time, but it's kind of not something, if you have other stuff going on, then it's really distracting to do it. So it's kind of exhausting to create content for YouTube. And that's what I felt, that at least in my experience, it doesn't take up a lot of time, but I do have like other shit going on. So to get distracted from that and go on to do YouTube, it's mentally taxing, right? So I'm not saying I'm going to stop making content. I'm just saying I'm fine with having almost zero subscribers. And it will mean maybe sometimes I'll go a while without putting out any content. And that's going to mean no growth. But you have to deal with it. It is what it is. Sometimes I might put out a lot of content. Sometimes, I might not put out any content at all. It is what it is. So